together to learn, share, grow, inspire, perspire, laugh, love, and take away some very special memories and some valuable training. And as you may have heard, some exciting products are coming your way from now until Summit. We gave a lot of information. I know Jeff will probably touch a little bit about leadership, but we all agreed that there's so much that we're grateful for this season. So here's to a new week, everyone. So I don't have a winning coach from last week's contest. Okay. Something happened, Facebook Live disconnected, and no one got to hear the question or was able to really answer. And apparently no one goes through email anymore because we weren't getting any questions from the email, which people who listen to the call can also use the email. So this week, I am going to award 2 people with the correct answer for this week's question. But anyway, if you're not using email, don't come running to me when Facebook starts cloning your account. Yeah, too soon. All right. Here's the question that I asked last week that if you heard it, great. If you didn't, sorry about that. It was that Summit is once a year, but we do kind of 4 little mini summits all year long. And what do we call those quarterly events that take place all over the US, Canada, and the UK and are designed to drive business momentum? And that answer is Super Saturday. We have one coming up October 20th. I hope you get to go to one. You should go to one. And if there's not one in your area, you should think about hosting one. So that was my plug for Super Saturday. But today's question that you can answer right here on Facebook Live is how much is the special Summit ticket only available during a flash sale from October 20th to October 31st? So we've got a special ticket coming. It's only going to be available for 12 days only. There's going to be a flash sale. How much is that Summit ticket? So that is it for the contest. And it is top of the hour. And let me start with the formal. Oh, I am asleep now. I am going to be going to sleep. All right. Good morning, coaches. This is your wake-up call, and it's my wake-up call too. So good morning. It's Monday, October 8th, and I've got about 4 announcements for everyone today. So stick with me. Let me get that going. And here I go. Let me turn off my video. Announcements for October 8th. Number 1 is the new Shift Shop packs and bundles all month long. You'll receive $20 off Shift Shop challenge packs and accessory bundles. Okay, you guys say Shift Shop early on a Monday.
We're going to have to bleep you.
I know, right? Okay, so you know what the program name is. There's 2 new prep workouts, a free sample workout, and new program materials on BOD. Hey, congratulations to everyone who earned the live workout with Chris Downing via live stream on October 13th. Now, you buy or sell the program and you get access to Chris's exclusive Coach Test Group, which officially starts October 22nd, and save up to 60% on the program that shall remain silent. Shift Shop apparel styles through October 31st. Okay, that is enough for Shift Shop, ladies and gentlemen. FAQ 773. Number 2, you heard it correctly. Stick packs. Energized stick packs are coming, and Energized Fruit Punch was announced. So this December, Energized will be available as a as a single serving stick pack. And we're also launching a new fruit punch flavor, which is delicious, coming February 2019. And each flavor will be available in the 40-serving tub or the 32-serving stick packs as a one-time order or a monthly subscription. Oh yeah, that HD or monthly subscription was so exciting to hear. We've got 2 FAQs on that if you want more information, because I can't pronounce everything today. 4298 and 3479 listed right there. Number 3, a little more obsessed bonus gift, which is FAQ 3682, and that is starting today. that current monthly nutritional subscribers get early access to the workouts called A Little More Obsessed. Anyone who starts their monthly subscription by November 30th will qualify for early access to these workouts before they hit the BOD member library in 2019, January. And number 4, congratulations, Canada. You're going to taste the goodness starting this Thursday, October 11th. We are launching Pumpkin Spice Vegan Shakeology in Canada. This is a limited edition flavor, which will only be available while supplies last as a one-time order purchase, not available as a monthly subscription. So that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, time for me to move over and welcome your president of global sales, Jeff Hill.
Sandy, I'm so glad that you could pronounce my name right, because obviously there were a few challenges with shift shop, which I agree. You try and roll that off the tongue quickly, you can get yourself in trouble very, very quickly, right?
Good luck with that. I hope you have to say Success Club today several times.
Yeah, you know that I've already blown that on numerous occasions. Anyway, there's a story behind that we're not going to go into this morning. But coaches, it is Monday. It is our national wake-up call. We have just come out of leadership at Las Vegas, had about 500 coaches there, our 5-star diamonds and above, with some of them brought a qualified guest. And it really was a remarkable event. It's this cool thing. It's like a family reunion where these leaders gather, where we have this elevated sharing of content and best practices and networking, and it's just flat out a good event. And of course, Sandy just shared, we announced our stick packs and our lemon energize and also fruit punch. And not only that, what we also did is we basically laid out the entire next 10, 12 months of what's going to be happening from a cadence in the business, when products are going to be launched, so that our leaders and as a result, you can then really build out your year. You can see what's coming down the horizon, so you don't have to be what's happening just tomorrow, but the next 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, so that you can really get strategic about the business. So it was absolutely a great event. We had some great speakers. We had some little things we had to course correct on in the middle, but you know what? Being nimble is part of leadership, right? Now, let me also say this, excited for Pumpkin Spice to hit Canada. And by the way, today is not only Columbus Day, but it is Canadian Thanksgiving. So a big it's not even a congratulations, but happy Thanksgiving to all of our Canadian friends. And I happen to be Canadian, so I'm going to have a turkey sandwich today. Well, listen, let's jump into this call. We have a great call with Ashley Feldeisen, who's going to talk about the power of story. And the cool thing about this is each one of you has a story. This is in your wheelhouse, and she's going to tell you how this can effectively help you build and grow your business in October, this week, today. So, but before we get there, let's move over to Darren Ashby, as I like to call him, the voice, and he's going to share who moved their business forward this past week. So Darren, take it away, bud.
Thanks, Jeff, and good morning. And good morning, coaches. Hey, it was really great seeing a lot of you in Vegas. Thanks for coming up and chatting. Great to spend some time. It was awesome. So let's jump in with our awesome rank advancements this week. Here they are, starting with our new diamond coaches. On top of that list, we have Brennan Accord, Crystal Ikow, Kyle Banker, Brooke Becker, Nikki Bingham, Madeline Brown, Becca Bryant, Janice Burnson, Morgan Butler, Kristen Caldwell, Martin Classon, Justin Collins, Anna Diaz, Amber Dillon, Mary Erner, Adrian Fallon, Leanne Faust, Debbie Gajerde, Jalissa Gregas, Kirsty Hamilton, Christina Harder, Jamie Hardwick, Aja Hardy, Amy Hodges, Christina Kammerer, Denise Keaton, Tyler Klotz from Canada, Melinda Langlois, Mary Page Larson, Anna Lemon, Jen Lautier, Lacey Lukic. In a secondary CBC, Janie Maina Bodefeld, Savannah Mathis. In a secondary CBC, Lindsay Matway, Hannah McLeod, Maddie Metches, Carolyn Meeks, Cheyenne Morris, Allison Myers, Tracy Nelson, Sarah Osmet, Brittany Parrish, Robert Pearson, David Perry, Rachel Roche, Alicia Rinfeld, Tina Robbins, Paula Santa Cruz from Canada, Lisa Shepard, Brooke Solier, Victoria Thomas, Jennifer Vaughn, Christina Wendt, Brooke Wiegand, Ronnie Wright, Sarah Yurka, and Jessica Zarella. What a great group of diamonds. Congratulations, guys. Now to our new star diamond coaches. Here they are. On top of that list, Lauren Blackledge, Anna Connell, Alexandra Disturdick, Molly Eckley, Alyssa Gallios, Morgan Greb, Caitlin Gunnels, Ashley Hoffman from Canada, Erica Lomonaco. In a secondary CBC, Dylan Mills, Trisha Palmer, Jennifer Palmer, Allison Remmers, Emily Russell Selsky, and Ashley Schoen. New two-star diamonds this week. Congratulations to, in a secondary CBC, Amy Grasso, Maggie Hoffman, Tanner McAllister. In a secondary CBC, Raina Odell, Danielle Plana, and from Canada, Alexandra Taylor. Now our new three-star diamonds this week. Congratulations to Alethea Baptist-Chasis, Jacqueline Gist, Jamie Glassman, and in a secondary CBC, Melanie Mitro. It's probably a fourth or a fifth CBC for her. On to our new six-star diamond coaches. We have one this week. Congratulations to Taylor Jensen. And jumping to our seven-star diamond for the week, from Canada, Kim Fitzpatrick. And coaches, we have two new eight-star diamond coaches. That would be Stephanie Carlstedt and Brooke Orchard. And we have a new nine-star diamond coach from Canada, Carol Ann Robinson. And our newest 10-star diamond coach, it is Jamie Innes. Coaches, we also have two new 11-star diamond coaches. Here they are. First, Mandy Kai, and also from Canada, Genevieve Leclerc. Congratulations, guys. That's it for the new rank advancements this week. Moving on to Top Success Club point earners. Here they are. Congratulations to Ashley Molstad, Ashley Smith, Melissa McAllister, Melanie Mitro, Lindsay Matway, and Helena Hamed. All right, that is it for me today for recognition. It was a great group. Congratulations, guys, to everyone on the call. Make it a fantastic week. And back to you, Jeff.
All right. Again, Darren, a great job. The question is for everybody out there watching this, is how many of you pronounced all of the names correctly? So Darren always does a great job with those. And congratulations to everybody. Kind of fun to see, these Canadians as well on Canadian Thanksgiving that have advanced their businesses. So congratulations to everybody. Okay, well, we're going to jump into this call. And as you already know, we have 9-star diamond coach Ashley Feldeisen on the call. But before she jumps on, one of the themes that just kind of surfaced at this leadership was the power of story and how effective that can be in growing your business. We had two guest speakers that actually spoke on this topic. And I think what happened to everybody there is this concept of the power of story was rekindled, and they reconnected with their story and recommitted to, how can I do a better job of sharing my story? Because that's really what the essence of this is. That's the DNA of the network, right? So let me bring Ashley on. She's a 9-star diamond coach, 2018 Premier Coach, a Success Club legend, 33 months in the business. She has advanced 7 personally sponsored diamonds over just this past year. And she has 24 diamonds on her team as of today. So that's pretty cool. So Ashley, welcome to the call. And just as everybody knows as well, Ashley was one of our guest speakers. She shared her story at Leadership and absolutely rocked it. So she's warmed up for this call, right, Ashley?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump into this and have everybody get to know you a little bit better, and then we'll jump right into the meat of this and why this topic is so critical for everyone. And what I love about it, it's within everyone's wheelhouse. This is something everyone can take right now and jump in. So who the heck is Ashley Feldeisen? Let's get to know you.
Okay. So like a lot of you guys on this call, I didn't always want to be a beach buddy coach. I personally wanted to be a teacher. So I grew up and I did my undergrad in elementary ed. I fell in love my junior year of college, and I was not forced, but I chose to pick up my life 6 hours and move it to a new city, Baltimore, where I live today. So I fell directly into my dream teaching position, what I thought was my dream teaching position at the time. I was 20 years old. And actually, I just turned 21. I also enrolled in my dream master's program to be a reading specialist. So my plate was full. And at first it was fun. I went through that honeymoon stage of, I had an hour-long commute, and I was like celebrating the commute. It was exciting at first. I was getting to work early. I was lesson planning like crazy. I was kind of like that prize teacher for the first couple of months. And then reality started to set in, and my hour-long commute started becoming very dreadful. I was going to grad school 3 nights a week. I was commuting into DC and then to the bottom of Baltimore and then back up to the top of Baltimore where I live. And it was just starting to really get to me. I was pouring into my career and I was pouring into my education. And it came to like the beginning of January of 2015. And I realized that I had just lost myself. My now fiance, he was in a startup company and we were just kind of surviving at the time. And for somebody like me, who I was now 21, I had dreamt my entire life of being a teacher, guys. Like I was the poster child of like this dreamer. And I thought that I was going to be like the world's best teacher. And then I get there and I had set such high expectations that my heart was unfulfilled because I thought it was going to be so much different than it was. And so in January of 2015, I was sitting there at the heaviest weight I'd ever been at. I was sitting there living in my boyfriend's parents' basement. I really couldn't afford much extra in my life. We couldn't afford to move out at the time. And I felt defeated. I was overweight. I was overworked. I was underpaid. And I decided I needed to do something. So I signed up for the gym. I actually signed up for a gym at the halfway point from where I was living at the time to where I was teaching. So about 30 minutes in, I would go there and I would run 3 miles every single morning in fear of being judged, of touching a weight or anything like that. And it lasted for like 2.5 weeks until I finally realized that I didn't have anybody holding me accountable. I didn't have anybody showing up to me. And so I remember seeing this before and after photo on social media. And it was the before and after photo that changed my world. It changed who I am today. It changed who I was leading up to, starting this opportunity. And it was at the time a 21-day program that I had no idea what it was. But what I saw in that before and after photo was a sense of pride that my childhood friend had in her journey. And I got to see my story inside of hers. And so because she was transparent and because she allowed herself to open up into me as a busy teacher and a busy student, she was really pursuing her career. She was pursuing her education. She was getting her master's as well. I was able to see what I was truly capable of through her story. And I fell right in love. I fell in love with our sustainability of our programs. I fell in love with the simplicity of how it just slipped into my life when I lacked the knowledge and lacked the support. It brought both of those things into my life, and it led me here today.
Well, it didn't just lead you here. You've obviously worked yourself into this position today. You're a 9-star diamond coach, but the thing that I lots of pieces that I love about that story, but if you get kind of drill down, peel away the layers of that onion, it was another coach that was showing you and you related to what they were going through. And that gave you the spark and let you see, gave you the vision to do something. Again, we're going to keep coming back to this concept of their story. Your story came alive through her. And that's what we want to have resonate throughout this network. So that happened. Now, a few years later, Matt, you're a 9-star diamond coach. You're doing some great things, but how did your business start to take off? That was the beginning. What's happened between now and then?
To be honest, the beginning, like 1.5 years of my business was a lot of down, was a lot of like stagnant. I got to diamond very quickly in my business, and I unfortunately thought that diamond was my end goal. And little did I know that there was so much life, so much freedom to be had after diamond. But for me, it really took sitting back, reflecting, and asking myself, Ashley, what is it that got you started? Because what you're doing right now, you're not attracting business builders. You're not attracting these people who want this or crave this as badly as you. And it took me sitting back and saying, it was Caitlin's story that allowed me to see what I was truly capable of. And instead of narrating, I was narrating and I was narrating, and I needed to wake up and I had to say, this is my story. And I had to allow the other people to see themselves in themselves inside of my story. But my business is my business is changed tremendously. We went from being, like you said, we went from being just a diamond team this time last year to now bringing 22 to 24 girls on our diamond retreat next month on Team Elevate, which is such an incredible feeling.
Well, it's really remarkable. And I know that we could go into what you have done to build each one of those diamonds and the business aspects of that, but that's really not the core of this message today. We're talking about the power of story, how coaches can use that to make those kinds of things happen. So let's jump into the essence of this call and talk about story. So I'm just going to let you go.
Awesome. Okay. So like I said, I was very stagnant for a very long time in my business. I've been a coach for 3 years. In the first year and a half, I felt like my story was insignificant. And I am here to tell you guys that your story is not. Because the second that I got over that fear of sharing it was the second that I started attracting the coaches who truly wanted to work this business, because I wanted to work this business. So because I was speaking my truth and I was speaking my authenticity, I started to attract those same people. And so that's my hope for you guys today, that you can leave today and just as a new coach or an older coach, or maybe as a coach who's rebuilding your business, just understand the importance of your story and that it deserves to be told. So I have a 5-step system, not really even 5 steps, but just 5 ways to really get your story across people, but also to help them see themselves through, their own stories through your light. So the first one is know why you got started. The beginning of my business, like I said, I was narrating because I didn't think about the importance of it. And it took me sitting back and saying, Ashley, you know what? Caitlin proved to you through her story what you were capable of, so much that I really had to sit down and write mine out. So I'm going to just kind of go back and talk a little bit more about exactly why it is that I got started, because this is something that if you do follow me on social media, this is something that I'm talking about consistently, so much that when I get women to start on Team Elevate, it's always about these couple things in my story. So when I did find my career, I was in it, right? I was busy. I needed nothing more on my plate, but what I needed was an outlet. I needed knowledge. I needed support. I needed a place to belong. I felt so unfulfilled in a career. I felt like my principal and the higher ups didn't respect my time. So that's a piece of my story that I'm consistently talking about because I joined this opportunity, because that's what led me into joining this opportunity. Another piece of my story is that I felt like I was consistently pouring into my career, pouring into my education, that I was forgetting to focus on myself. And this opportunity helped me focus on myself. And so whatever that is for you, you just have to pinpoint what it was. And so I have women on my team who are nurses and doctors and all of, like, they don't relate to my story at all, but they relate to a piece of my story that helped them get started. Maybe it's the financial side of things. Maybe it's the fact that they just needed a sense of community. You know, if you've ever gone to a Super Saturday and you like all of your guys' hearts beat to the same drum, and then you get home and all of these people want to join your team, those are the people who really crave that sense of community. Maybe you know, like for me, when I earned my first paycheck, it was about like just being able to pay my car payment with my first paycheck. And that was something that I had to share loud and proud, because for me, when I was so underpaid and overworked, that was something that they could see through my story. They could see that she's not living this life any busy, or maybe even busier than I am. If she can, I can. And so when you know that those little pieces of your story, it's so important for you to share about. And so when I was feeling very insignificant, like I said, I was narrating. I was talking about, you know, the before and afters. I was talking about my workout every day. I was talking about my food every single day. I was talking about the things I was going through in my journey, but I was never talking about the things that led me up to where I am. And I think this is one of the most powerful things that we have as coaches. And this alone is going to be the one thing that people remember you for, is why you started. Now, 3 years into my business, people, of course, are excited to see my before and after photos, and they're excited to see these little pieces of my journey. But the reason that I'm getting coaches to join my team is because they are where I once was. And so if I were to forget all about that, I would only be able to attract the people where I am today. And I don't want that. I want to attract the other Ashes of the world who felt the way that I want, or who feel today the way that I once felt. And so knowing why you started, knowing why you're consistently pushing every single day, and then speaking to your audience, speaking it to your audience in a way that they can relate to it. So for instance, when I was in my career, I felt like my higher ups didn't respect my time. I felt very like sick going to work every single day because I knew that I was just going to be disrespected. And it was a terrible feeling. It was a defeating feeling. And so when I share that on social media, it wasn't as if I was like putting down the school systems, because I do respect teachers, and the ones who love it, I respect them, because I know I'm going to have children one day and we need to have them in the world. But for me, I needed to speak to those people, and consistently to this day, I need to speak to those people who feel that way. And so whatever you once went through, or the way that maybe you're feeling now, if you're a brand new coach and you're feeling certain ways that you know this business will help you get out of, it's so important to hone in on that, but take it to the next layer and speak to that person. So just instead of saying, I feel disrespected when I go to my job, or maybe saying, I really despise my commute to work every single day, or maybe instead of saying like, I started this business because I have all this weight to lose, take it to that next layer and share a piece of your story that goes along with it. And so, for instance, when I was going to work every single day, I was this like prize, I was like this prize teacher at the beginning, because I had all of this passion. And then one day it just like a switch went off, and the honeymoon stage was over, and my principal, wasn't all smiley anymore, and I didn't have that same respect. And so I know that a lot of brand new teachers can relate to that. I know that a lot of people in corporate America can relate to the sense of not having, not loving their commute to work every single day. And so that's just pieces of my story. And I could talk all day about my story, but it just takes you sitting down and just going in detail of what it is, line after line after line. And then when you want to breadcrumb that throughout your social media, pull from it and pull from it and pull from it, and share those little bits of your story. And like Kendra, we had this incredible guest speaker this past weekend at Leadership. She said that people aren't going to remember these, like, your accolades. They're not going to remember your title as much as they're going to remember little pieces of your story. And that's the most important thing to share, is the pieces of your story. And then helping them dream. So let's say, you're sharing these points in your life that are transforming you from the inside out. And then they're watching you change. They're watching you go from this person where you were feeling defeated and you were feeling like you're pouring into maybe your education, you're pouring into your career, you're pouring into your journey, and every single day they're seeing that you're making major growth. That's your future clients. Those are your future coaches that you're attracting every single day. And we don't even know it, but the people that we're attracting right this second on social media are the people who are going to be running our team in 4 months, 5 months, and a year from now. And so if we're dreaming, if we're growing, if we're sharing pieces of our story, and we're just continuing to write our story, being the light, attracting people to that light, we're helping them dream. We're helping those people see that we are at a constant state of evolving. We're consistently moving, and they get to see that this is so much more than a business. This is so much more than a business, guys. This is a movement. This is a place where they can come. They can have freedom, they can have relationships, they can find their best selves, but it starts with you. And it starts with us really, being the coach that we crave. And 2 years into my business, when I tried to attract everything with a pulse, and they'd come in and they'd leave, and they'd come in and they'd leave. It was a matter of me sitting back and saying, okay, I need to be authentic, and I have got to be the coach that I want to attract onto my team. I have to be the Ashley that I pray so long and hard for. So what did I need to start doing? I needed to start doing what Caitlin did for me, sharing my story. I needed to start hitting Success Club, not by the skin of my teeth, but showing that it was like a daily thing, a weekly thing, and pouring into my journey. I needed to make sure that I was getting results. I needed to make sure that I was writing my story every single day, that my journey was changing and evolving every single day. I had to be on national wake-up calls. I had to be on team calls. I had to be getting to Super Saturdays. I had to be registered for Summit. And so even though right now you might not think that you registering for Summit, it might just be a you thing, it's a team thing. And I remember so vividly, this is a piece of my story, but when I started as a coach, when I started Team Elevate, I would get on team calls and nobody would show up. And now we have over 100 people showing up, but I would get on my team calls and nobody would show up. But I'd get off the call and I'd record it. And Tyler, my fiance, would be like, how was your call? And I would always, here and then I'd say, nobody showed up. And then he always said, you did. And I was the one that showed up. And even though I was talking to a brick wall, I was living that life, or I was being the coach that I craved. So if I was showing up, I knew that eventually other people would start to show up too. And so that's a piece of my story that I'm consistently telling. And Holly Hillier said it perfectly on stage over the weekend. She said that you don't want to attract these people who are just going to think that it's unrealistic. So we have to set these realistic expectations of how hard you have to work, guys. This is a business. This is a business where we're changing lives, starting with our own. And so if we can just prove to people that they are slipping on their entrepreneur pants, they are going to fall in love with the hustle. That's the type of person that we're going to attract. We're not telling people that we build our dream house in 5 days, right? We're not telling people that we, can build $1 million overnight. We are proving to people that we can change lives through our own story, but we have to continue writing it day after day after day.
Well, so Ashley, as you're going through this, there's some pieces that I just want to maybe go back and just tell coaches what you said, because there's so much great content there. But right at the beginning, you talked about, let me just look at my notes. Again, it's this concept of know why you started. Okay. And one of the things you repeated time and time again in this call, you said, I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I kept writing it. And to me, that is something that is so key, because there's actually something, and I don't know if you were saying you were writing it in your mind or you're writing it down, but from the standpoint of, if you were to physically write down your story, that all of a sudden becomes more real to you, and you start to hone your story so that it becomes more, we're not fabricating it, but it gets clearer in your own mind. And actually, as you continue to progress, the story progresses, as well. The other piece is in telling the story. I'm going to go back to something Kendra Hall said at our leadership, and Annie Neiman. So just so everybody knows who these guys are, and then feel free to jump in on this, Ashley. But it was so interesting. We had two speakers that talked about the power of story. One is a motivational speaker talking about story. That was Kendra Hall, and she was amazing. And the other was Annie Neiman, happens to be the niece of Michael Neiman, but she's getting her doctorate here in a couple of weeks. And she talks about the power of story. And she has been a close follower of Team Beachbody coaches. But each one of them talked about the science of storytelling, and how that is the great connector for people. And you think about when you scroll through social media, if it's information, you don't stop. If you sense that there's a story there, you stop and you're drawn in and you pay attention to see if there's something that relates to you. And that's the piece, because that is so much more memorable. The other piece is, and this is a common stumbling block for a lot of people, is they will allude to their story instead of telling their story. So I think that is such a powerful concept. As you listen to Ashley talk about this and talk about the coach you want to be, those are the action items, but also why you started coaching, and knowing why you started. You have to tell your story. Don't say, I have a story. It's like, let me tell you my story, because that's what's going to happen. It's not the information that's going to sell. It's the story that's going to sell. So Ashley, just as you look back to those speakers, is there anything else that jumped out to you that you would pass on to all these new coaches that are here? And I'm putting you on the spot here. We didn't rehearse this at all.
Yeah, I really liked, and you said it, like so many coaches, they allude to their story, or people in general, they allude to their story. And so Kendra showed us this video of this woman she was running a business, and she had talked about losing her parents. And so as soon as she said those words, like instantly everybody, perked up, but she didn't talk about losing her parents. She just went on to like the next, scenario in her business. And so I think that, and then Kendra came back and she said, what would you guys have liked to hear more of? And of course, instantly, we would have loved to hear more of the point of how she lost her parents, or, who she became after losing her parents, and how that episode in her life really changed who she is today. And so Kendra said, perfect, I have this before or this after video for you. And then she showed us this after video after they had recreated the entire thing. And she really honed in a little bit more on how she lost her parents and the person that she started to become after that episode. And that power of her story changed everything for us. It allowed us to look so much deeper. It allowed us to maybe relate in a certain way, but also just be so much more influenced by her because we had that sense of, connection to her. She had opened up her life to us, and we were more interested because of that extra layer that she peeled back for us. And I think that that's every bit as much as what we have to do in this business. I think often we feel very insignificant in the fact that maybe so many other people have the same stories as us, or they have very similar stories as us. And even as I was sharing my story on stage this weekend, my corporate rep, Jeff Matthewson, was like, tell it all. Some people in the room might know it. Some people in the room might not know it. But my problem was that I was like skipping to different areas of my life. And I had to sit back and say, I'm going to share it all. And I feel like on social media, we need to do that. Even if somebody has heard it before, they might hear it differently this time. So don't be afraid to just share it all. You are significant. Your story is going to speak so much truth into some people, and it's going to hone out the people who don't need to hear it. And it's really going to hone in on the people who need to hear it so badly. And it's going to peel back that extra layer, and you're going to be transparent, and you're going to let so many people in.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that example, because that was really kind of a moment where it just illustrated taking it a level deeper. And, as Ashley and I were talking before this call, I've got the stats on her. I share, so many diamonds, and she's a 9-star diamond coach, and all these accolades. But what I remember about Ashley is her story, that she was this school teacher that had these dreams. And that's the piece that makes me think, oh man, she's amazing. I can relate to that. I know people like that. And that's the piece that is where the authenticity that comes out. And particularly as you're speaking to new people, this is a business, as Ashley's pointed out. It's a business about attracting people and connecting with people. It's not the information or the facts that attract and form that connection. It's the story that does that. So your ability as a coach to tell your story, first to know your story, to refine your story, to get it down, and then not to allude to it, but to tell your story. And I know, like Ashley just said, some people go, oh, everybody knows my story. Everybody's heard my story. That's not true. There are people out there that need to hear your story, and they may hear it differently as you tell it, or all of it. So Ashley, we're gonna wrap here. But if you had one call to action for all these coaches, these newer coaches, and even to the more seasoned coaches, what would you share to them? That's number one. And then number two, over the last 3 years, you started out with kind of this dream. Where are you today? And I know it's the dream isn't completely fulfilled, but where are you today?
Guys, like Jeff said, just write it out. On paper, physically write it out, and duplicate that into your teams. Remember that your story and who you are today when you're sharing that on social media is going to be how your coaches are going to run their businesses. And so write it out from start to finish. Don't leave anything out. Childhood into, points in your life that were so up, points in your life that was so down. Share it. And don't ever for a second feel like it's insignificant. And don't ever for a second feel like somebody else's story is better than yours, because that person who you think story might be better than yours will relate to a different type of person. You, who you are, is your superpower, and you're going to relate to your type of person. First question, Jeff, got that out of the way. Second, 3 years into this business, my entire life has totally changed. So in March of 2015, when I enrolled to be a coach, we were living in his parents' basement. We had this 2-year goal to get out of their basement. We said, okay, we're going to give ourselves 2 years. Beachbody wasn't in the plan at that point. We said 2 years, we're going to buy a house, or we're going to be able to afford an apartment. And in 5 months, we purchased our starter home because of this opportunity. It allowed us to dream so much bigger. It was like the sky is the limit. And now today, next Friday, we actually close on this house that we're sitting in today. We're selling it, and we are breaking ground and starting the build of our dream home. And so I always say, you know, Beachbody changed my life, but even more than that, guys, we've changed our lives. I've changed my life with Beachbody as the platform, and I'm so very blessed for this opportunity.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it that way, because I always say, you know, Beachbody shouldn't be your life. It should give you a life. And when people say that it's changed my life, yeah, we're here. We've got these great products and you know, the fitness programs and the nutritional products, but people have to leverage it. They have to do the work. And that's the great part. And that's the purpose of this call, is to give you content, some information, hopefully some inspiration, that as we hang up from this call, that you will take it, that you will run with it, that you will somehow make yourself better. But it's always in the form of action, where Ashley said, we changed our lives. Yeah, she changed her life through this. And this telling of the story is a powerful piece. So Ashley, thank you so much for jumping on the call today and being so well prepared, and I know inspiring and motivating a lot of people. So coaches, bottom line is that the story is within your wheelhouse. Here we are. It's the 15th of the month, middle of October, lots of month left. And you know why we talk about the month? It's just great to have a deadline of what you can do by the end of the month. We have, and I'll say it, Shift Shop. We've relaunched it in a way. It's absolutely great. We have a little bit more obsessed. We have all of our other fitness programs where there is a solution that can fit someone's and meet someone's needs. But it's you that has to be the voice. And it's your story, your ability to tell that story of what your dreams are, what your vision is, and how you have moved your life forward. And even if you're at the beginning stage, you know, what that looks like and what you really want. There's got to be something that you're worth caring about, that's something that's so worth caring about, that's remarkable, that burns deep, that's special, that's precious, that burns this fire in your heart. And that's the core of your story. And it's that passion that you develop from writing your story, refining your story, and then telling your story consistently with people that will draw and attract and bring people in. And it's also that emotional intensity that comes from your story that pushes through the chills and the headwinds and all of the stuff that comes when you're building a business. Because in building a business, it's hard. As Ashley shared, it's not easy. There will be times of disappointment. There will be times when not everything just falls into place. But if you have a story, if you have a vision, if you have a dream, and if that's clear in your mind, and as you share that with other people, you will create hope, you will create followers, you will attract people, and your business will surely grow. So coaches, the 15th of the month, take advantage, go out today, share your story, write your story, but make your story count. Make it count in helping people change their lives, and so that you can change your life as well. So such a bright future. I come out of this leadership event so excited about what this next year is going to look like. The programs that we're launching with Transform 20, other programs that Carl alluded to at summer, other nutritional products that are there, but it takes work. Will it be easy? No. But will it take drive? Yes. Can you do it? Yes, you can. So thank you for being coaches. Thank you for tuning in. Make this a great week. Start today. Start today. Go share your story and invite someone into a group where they can start changing their lives. So with that, Sandy, I'll get the heck off this call, and it's pronounced Shift Shop.
Thanks, everybody. This has been your wake-up call. Here is your daily affirmation for today. Life is meant to be shared, just like your story too, right? So have a great week, everybody, and bye-bye. We'll see you next week.